President Marcos forms Independent Commission on Infrastructure by Alexis Romero, posted in Philstar Global on September 12, 2025, Manila, Philippines. President Marcos yesterday made good his promise to create an independent body to investigate infrastructure projects suspected of being tainted with corruption, with the probe to cover the past 10 years. The body, formed through Executive Order Number 94, will have broad powers including moving for the freezing or seizure of assets linked to irregularities. Although the flood control scandal prompted its creation, the Independent Commission for Infrastructure (ICI) will also look into violations of relevant laws like the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, and the Administrative Code of 1998 in the implementation of other public works. Malacanang has not yet released the names of the panel members, but a News 5 source said the commission would be composed of retired Supreme Court Associate Justices Antonio Carpio and Estela Perlas Bernabe, and a forensic accountant from the Sisip Gores Valayo and Company, or SGV. There are reports and allegations of irregularities, misuse of funds, and possible corruption in government flood control and related projects, which, if true, endanger the safety and security of the Filipino people, threaten the welfare of various communities, and erode public trust in government institutions, the President said in the order. It is imperative to constitute an independent body that will investigate and undertake appropriate measures against those involved in irregularities in government infrastructure projects, he added. The probe body will consist of a chairperson and 2 members with proven competence, integrity, probity, and independence. The Commission, whether acting on complaint or by itself, shall hear, investigate, receive, gather, and evaluate evidence, intelligence reports, and information against all government officials and employees, and any other person involved in anomalies, irregularities, and misuse of funds in the planning, financing, and implementation of government flood control and other infrastructure projects in violation of existing laws and regulations, according to EO 94. Under the EO, the ICI will prioritize the investigation of flood control and other infrastructure projects within the last 10 years and recommend the filing of appropriate criminal, civil, and administrative cases or actions against those behind the anomalies before appropriate bodies like the Office of the President, Office of the Ombudsman, the Department of Justice, DOJ, and the Civil Service Commission. The 3-person body's powers and functions include conducting hearings, taking testimony and receiving, gathering, reviewing, and evaluating evidence, reports, and information on matters within its power to investigate, and issuing subpoenas for attendance of witnesses and production of documents needed for its investigation. It may also recommend to the DOJ the admission of a person as a state witness and obtain from the legislature information and documents pertaining to their respective investigations related to its mandate. The ICI may also obtain from the courts information and documents pertaining to cases filed with the Sandigan Bayan or the regular courts, obtain books, records, contracts, bank statements, and other documents pertinent to its probe. Recommend to or request from the appropriate authorities or the courts the issuance of a hold departure order or other remedies to monitor or prohibit the travel abroad of any person under investigation or to compel their return to the country. The order likewise permits the Commission to recommend to or request from the appropriate authorities the freezing or seizure of assets, funds, deposits, and properties reasonably believed to be connected to anomalous flood control and other infrastructure projects pending investigation. The body may also transfer evidence and findings to appropriate prosecutorial authorities for expeditious prosecution and recommend to authorities the immediate preventive suspension of any public official or employee as it may find necessary to prevent the tampering of evidence or influencing of witnesses during its investigation. To support its investigation, the ICI may invite and collaborate with public officials or private individuals of recognized competence and integrity, and with established knowledge and expertise in governance, transparency, and accountability, and designate them as special advisor or other capacities. It may also engage the services of resource persons, professionals, and experts to perform its mandate. Disciplinary action. Any government official or personnel who delays or refuses, without adequate cause, compliance with a subpoena issued by the ICI, or who, appearing before the ICI, refuses to take oath or affirmation, shall be subject to administrative disciplinary action without prejudice to any criminal liability. Any private person who does the same shall be dealt with in accordance with law, the order read. A secretariat will be created to provide technical and administrative support to the Commission as it performs its mandate. It will be led by an executive director to be appointed by the President upon the recommendation of the ICI, and shall have the rank, emoluments, and privileges of an undersecretary. Within 30 days from the effectivity of the order, the executive director shall determine the appropriate organizational structure, staffing pattern, and corresponding qualification standards for all positions under the ICI, and submit them for review and approval of the President or the Department of Budget and Management. All offices in the executive branch are expected to extend full assistance and cooperation to the ICI as it discharges its functions. Failure or refusal to extend such assistance or cooperation for no valid or justifiable reason or adequate cause shall constitute a ground for disciplinary action against the concerned official or personnel, subject to existing laws, rules, and regulations, the order said. The ICI is expected to provide monthly reports to the Office of the President through the Office of the Executive Secretary. It will remain in operation until its mandate has been completed or unless sooner dissolved by the President. Meanwhile, the Federation of Philippine Industries said it is cautiously optimistic of the administration's efforts to address corruption in flood control projects, citing Marcos's appointment of new leaders at the Department of Public Works and Highways and Bureau of Customs.